So here's your first step. You connect to Hadi El-Alim. The light comes down. Okay, step number one. Step number two is you turn to, I'll just say Hadith. Let's say Hadith for the moment, which includes Quran, it includes, Aqidah, it includes Tasfir, it includes fiqh, essentially the outer understandings of what we're taught. And you hold it up and you say, is there anything that I've learned that counters what my understanding is? And if there is, you go back and double check it. Is you now, assuming that you feel that the understanding is clear, now you have to work out your understanding. Now, I'll be honest with you, this is where Shaitan loves to play. This is his realm right there. That's where the Shaitan is going to mess with you. Shaitan's going to come in and try to stop it. So this is where you have to really take your time and really sit very, very, very deeply with what came into you in that state of ease and let it unveil itself. Okay, this is the piece that most people, they get impatient, they rush through it because they have to make dinner, or the kids are yelling, or they don't trust, or they're frightened, and this is Shaitan catches them with fear, and so rather than sitting with it, they run away from it and they don't get it. Okay, this is where you need to take your time. Okay, so in this third step, you're going to sit with the understanding. You're going to remember the name Allah. You're going to remember Hadi El-Alim. Okay. You're going to stay in your heart, and you're going to open your heart to really receiving what comes in. And you may need to sit in that state for half an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. You're going to take your time with it. You're not going to move so fast. I want you not to move so fast. Don't jump to your mind so fast. Don't go to, that I have to interpret and figure it out. Take your time with it. What's the resistance I'm feeling in the group? Is that to the hadith and the tasbih, or is that to just feeling like a confusion coming over the group? What is that?
Mine was, you said the interpretations of the Quran, and who are you getting your interpretation through? And then you said through CD.
Yes.
And I meant to raise my hand, like which specific teachings of CDs would you recommend? Or
Siddi's been really clear about it. Read his books first, Tasfir, and learn it from him first.
Okay.
And then if you want to learn the Tasfir, I would recommend Ibn Kathir, but in light of Siddi's teachings, because even Ibn Kathir gets up in his mind and misunderstands a lot and goes, in my opinion, through his intellect rather than through Allah.
Okay.
So after you have Siddi's view,
Reading his books.
Read his books. Ibn Kathir will tell you exactly what happened, what was going on, why the ayat came down, and so forth and so on. He'll tell you everything about it, and that's what's so beautiful about it. And he'll also tell you 6 different ways that it was interpreted. He'll tell you the whole thing. Yeah, this is an example of that book.
CDs for even.
This is Siddi's book.
There's 3.
Yeah, there's 3 there. Siddi always does. Is there? Yeah, a 4th one just came out, right? There's a 4th one just came out. The way Siddi does it is he gives you, he'll give you a little bit of the outer, like Ibn Kathir, and then he gives you like general Tarika understandings, and then at the very end he gives you Hakika. So if you look closely, you'll see he layers every chapter out in those 3 ways. He tells you the outer, but it's very brief. Then he kind of goes into the walking, what Allah might walk you through it, the Tarika. And then at the very end, he tells you the Hakika. He tells you, and this is what it means. He gives it to you. This is the deep meaning. And he gives you all three levels in this book. Okay? Hakikat, Taraka, and Sharia. Okay, was there any other? Yeah, what else?
So
Yeah.
that, yeah, with the resistance, it's a illusion of time for me.
Yes.
So I think, well, whatever I can come to at the time that I'm sitting on the couch doing this, I'll go with that.
Yes.
But this could continue through cooking dinner, through putting kids to bed. That, like, you can still stay in that state,
Yeah.
right? And let it keep opening, even if you're not sitting on the couch or in the
Exactly.
cave.
Make your dinner contemplating it.
So it's really just waiting to take action.
Exactly. Wait till you're clear on the understandings before you move. Because, you know, what happens, again, in most cases, is it kind of comes in, you kind of get it, but you're not sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you got to make dinner. Now you're busy fighting with the sloppy joes.
With the wife.
Okay, and then after that, you take your time and you know, and maybe it gets lost. But what you didn't get to when the knowledge is clear, there's like a ringing of the bell. It's talked about, the ringing of the bell. When the knowledge is clear and it comes in, there's a very, very deep peace that will come inside your heart, and it's clear. Like when you get it, it's absolutely clear. You know it when it's there. Why take action until you know it? Make sure you know it clearly. Once you feel that, oh yes, that's it. That's it. I've been waiting for that. I got it. Now you take action on it. Okay, well, tell me more about the resistance. Let's talk about it. Yes?
I don't understand what you're talking about. Like, can you give me an example of like knowledge and what it's knowledge and then the action? Like
Okay.
what?
Let's say that you have to make a decision about whether you go to your residency this year or next year, right? So you're sitting here thinking, you know, from my mind, if I go this year, I get X, Y, and Z. If I go next year, I get X, Y, and Z, right? Which one do I do? And if you look at self-management, probably the one you're going to do is the one you're most afraid of. Meaning, if I don't do it this year, I'm afraid this will happen, so I better do it this year. So most people are driven by fear, and they take action out of their fear. Okay, that's the worst way to take action. Okay, the thing that you're wanting to do is you're wanting to sit with it till Allah reveals to you what's important. Like you might be sitting with this mutatavir, and all of a sudden Allah shows you the most important thing for you is peace in your heart. It's not about doing it this year or doing it next year. The most important thing for you is peace in your heart. If that's your mutatavir, which choice would give you peace in your heart? See the difference? And now you're making your decision not from fear, you're making it from a clear understanding of what Allah wants for you. But you're thinking, well, I gotta get done, I gotta get my residency, or I gotta get my things done. You have all these ideas of what you think are going on, but Allah is saying, be peaceful. The most important thing for you is to be peaceful. So you have to do your creation from what He gives you, not from all the turmoil, and certainly not from the fear. Is that clear? Okay. Anybody else have, Snehal, you have anything to say? You have a glazed look on your face. I hope it's not the lecture being that bad. What's that glazed look?
No, just probably travel like this all the time.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Anybody else? I still feel a lot of kind of something in the room I want to understand. Zakina, you have anything you want to say? You good with everything? Okay. Okay, great. Salam, how about for you? Anything for you? You're good? Okay, I don't know what I'm feeling. All right, I'll just keep going, and inshallah, if you have resistance, please share. You know me, I'm just throw it out there.
Okay.
All right, there it is. I knew somebody. All right. Thank you.
I'm keeping us from moving forward. The black in the Torah
Could you
I
use
don't
this?
know. Somehow felt like it was making separation in some way.
Oh, it's not.
Okay.
I actually love Judaism, and I think that the real teachings of Judaism are stunning. But Sidi has said, and the Prophet Muhammad said, that the Torah had been changed. The Kabbalists, who you talk to, say that the reason the first temple was destroyed was because of changes in the Torah, and the same with the second. This is nothing that I'm telling you. You can read this from the Jewish literature. I'm not making any separation. I'm just telling you what has happened. Everybody knows it. There's no question about it. You know, it's just people being honest enough to say what it is. You know, I've spoken to Kabbalist masters who have said the first temple was destroyed because the rabbis who started interpreting it through their own ways, and that was why Allah took the temple. Is that helpful at all? Okay, and I apologize. I'm not really trying to make separation.
Oh, I know.
I mean, I teach at Mount Sinai Hospital, you know, which is a Jewish hospital, and go down there, and I think it's one of the more holy hospitals in the nation, so I'm not against it in any way. But I'll tell you if something's not. I'll tell you the same in Islam. If you see things in Islam that aren't right, Islam is also making mistakes. You know, we all are. We all make mistakes. And even Abu Bakr, when he took over after Prophet Muhammad died, what did he say? He said, if I make a mistake, please correct me. And he called on the entire, didn't he call on the entire Ummah to correct him? And this was a guy who'd been at his side longer than anybody else. He said, if I make a mistake, please correct me. So, you know, we're human. That helpful? Anything else?
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else holding things back? Yes.
So my question is a little bit about hadith.
Yes.
Like what books did CD recommend us to? So what? Hello? Hello? Not working. So hadith, which books did CD recommend us to take our knowledge from?
The ones that I saw CD using were Bukhari. And there's also Sahih, and I think he did quote from that sometimes, but it seemed to me that it was more Bukhari. So that's all I can tell you. I don't know, did anybody ever hear him say one book or over the other? I never did. Okay. Anything else about, it's getting clearing, where it's clearing, the room is clearing up, so let's keep going. Yes?
I started feeling overwhelmed with learning Arabic, and if that doesn't feel possible, is it okay to read the Quran in English and then also read the tafsir with it? Or
Yes.
just skip the English Quran and go straight to the CD's tafsir books?
Her question is, she's overwhelmed with Arabic. Can she read the Quran in English and kind of correlate it with Tasfir? I think that's the best way. I mean, honestly, Sidi had us all reading it in English. He actually turned most people to Nuruddin Durki's Quran, which in a lot of ways has very good interpretations in there. And but I would say that you would want to correlate his with Sidi's books as well. Arabic takes a long time. I mean, you know, people who've learned it, you know, I've worked at it for years. You know, I can read it. I understand it more or less now, and I'm still like in kindergarten with it. And it's a hard learning. It's time.
CD never pushed it on us. He just waited and waited for years before he actually even brought it to us, you know, in a formal manner.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it was
Never pushed.
and my opinion is it takes time in walking to be ready to appreciate what the Quran can teach us.
Yes, I agree 100% with Zakia. You know, you got to do it at your own way, but I just want to give you a grain of salt that when you read it in the English, you're not getting a clear interpretation. That's the only thing I want to warn you about.
Yeah, I just want to add to that whenever I would read it in English and I would call CD because I would be triggered by something there that it read in English, he would always say to me, that's a wrong interpretation, Salima. It's a wrong interpretation. And it took me a while to really understand what he was saying, and he kept on saying, because I almost called him daily, because just about everything that I read in Quran in the beginning would trigger me. It's true, you know, because I was reading it through different eyes, if you will.
Yeah.
And then when he finally said to me, I guess he got tired of saying it's a wrong translation, because I would call him up daily with the same question. He finally stopped and he said, Salima, stop. He said, read the book in here first. Read the book inside your heart first. And that made all the difference for me when I started to really open up my heart and read the book that Allah put inside of us. And then I could approach the Quran in a very different light.
What did that mean to you? Did it mean that he wanted you to walk first?
He
Or
wanted to walk deeper and to understand me, to understand what Allah put inside of me.
Yep.